component because people are going to check you out. You want them to walk down the path of what you want them to do. For instance, fill out a form, call me, whatever it is, or order something. Like yours, you want them maybe to order a part or something like that. And you know that they're going to need that thing so you can sell it online.
Exactly.
Or even for instance, you want to start selling. I'm making these cups out of clay, and I'm going to start selling these. Get an Etsy account and just start selling online. Create an online presence before you really need a website. A website nowadays.
Failures.
There are people that will build you a website for $100. That's great.
Because
it won't help you in your business.
At the very beginning, you stop the stream.
In your business, you're talking a couple $1,000s, and so one of the things is you've got to have that business going enough to get enough sales to have someone kind of take you to the next level, and that's what we help with. But that's what I wanted to give. You don't always need this big professional website. You can do it yourself. When you're starting, if you're just starting out,
you got to watch all
do it
this,
yourself.
You got to watch
and
every
maybe
bit of this
even
shit.
we do even consulting, and there are a lot of people out there that do that. That you can do it yourself, and then have someone else come in and go, "Let me show you some things to do it." And that's one of the things that we're going to be doing as one of the teaching elements of the coming in on the weekend and going, okay, well, I want to sell eggs, or I want to start my own business, or whatever it is. You can come in, we'll show you what to do, and you can actually leave creating your own website. Get on Squarespace, we'll show you how to sign up and do your thing and pick a template that's right for you. And it's all you're doing it, but you have someone looking over your shoulder who is experienced enough that they can go, no, don't do that. And that's somewhat helpful in terms of, going in and going, here are the right things to do. Because otherwise, we have a lot of people that do build their own Squarespace and things like that. But then we have to completely redo their website. There are some things you can do with some of these free sites to boost a little bit, and then have enough money to get a more comprehensive website. So there's all kinds of things, but that's one of the things that we wanted to do, is have people come in on a weekend and learn how to build your own website for whatever it is, and then you can leave with a constructed website.
Do you have any like a recommendation for somebody who's building a business site that would say, like, have this starting platform to make it easier for you when they have to transition to a professional, to say, hey, look.
That's a good point. I don't love to recommend kind of one or the other. GoDaddy's websites are pretty good in terms of, they have a website builder that's a different platform. That's not what you would want to do. Anything on a WordPress website is really good if you can learn WordPress enough to do it yourself. But otherwise, just go with something like even a Wix, which is free, but then you have ads all over it.
Right.
But Squarespace, I'm not selling them, but they're pretty good.
GoDaddy. Just go to GoDaddy. All right. So look,
I like GoDaddy stuff.
Okay. So I had a friend of mine that came in that I don't barter all the time, but I will every now and then, and he is a handyman. And I needed my back patio completely power washed, and he did the front driveway and the whole 9 yards. So I said, look, I don't make websites. I used to. And I used to do a lot of websites.
Yeah.
And I said, here's what I'll do. I'll jump onto GoDaddy. I'll make you a 6-page website in exchange for you doing all that.
Yeah.
He goes, I'm in. So I went onto GoDaddy. I had him a site up and running in 2 and 3 hours.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's kind of what I was saying is go get, find your domain name, pick it. You can tie it in. The nice thing about GoDaddy is that they're kind of tied in together, so you pick a domain name and then they kind of upsell you, and they go, hey, you want,
because they can,
they walk you through.
Well, yeah, and if you have a problem, they'll go in and help you.
Yeah,
exactly.
But this is not, you don't use GoDaddy's website builder if you're going out to be a lawyer and you need some seriously help, or you're going to be a chiropractor, or you're going to be someone like that. So, by the way, just let everybody know, online, Yep, our system goofed up and it stopped the stream, so we had to restream. So we're back on now.
Okay,
so
good.
just let everybody know.
Good. Yeah, but for something like that, I actually, for some of my clients even, I like GoDaddy because they will actually talk to you. You could, if you mess your website up, they will talk to you at 10 o'clock at night and call
they will
you.
help you fix
Now,
it.
believe me, I don't get paid by them. I actually give them a lot of money to do hosting and stuff. And so, but yeah, go on. They have all kinds of different site builders and stuff like this. The nice thing about that is that they are one of the platforms that allows you to download stuff off of their site.
Right.
Exactly.
There's a couple of these builders like Squarespace that if you build a site on Squarespace, it's a pain to get your site off of that platform.
Right.
And that's
The bottom line
Yeah.
Bottom line is,
If you're doing it yourself, go to one of these platforms. Just do it yourself. If you're testing or have a really, really small business that is kind of a side hustle, just build it yourself and do your own thing. But otherwise, talk to someone who can maybe guide you through the process and give you some understanding of what you need to do. And I've done this a lot actually. Is I've said no. I've had to say no to clients or potential clients, but we've come up with a game plan. I'll sit down with someone.
yeah,
and go,
you didn't leave them just hanging.
No, you go, okay, here's what to do. Order this, do this, get this many months under your belt, and get this much revenue coming in, and then from there, we can help you build a website, and that's when you need to help and because you don't need the ranking and things like that until then anyway. So, but that's pretty much my thing is if you're doing a wedding. Yeah, my soapbox for today is if you're if you're getting married or doing something yourself, or you need a resume builder, just build your own website. Just do it.
Yeah, I had a streamer ask me the other day as a Twitch person, and they're like, okay, so I really want to go to a website. I said, why do you want a website? Because I want more people to watch my stream. I said,
no.
First of all, you're taking people off the Twitch platform, which that's where people are finding you right now.
Right.
So if you want to do something that just makes you look cool, and you want to do it yourself, go to GoDaddy.
Yeah.
Just take the Twitch embed, put it on there,
exactly.
blah, blah, blah. Because I think what he wants to do is he wants to bypass their donate and do his own PayPal donate on there. Because until you hit a certain level on Twitch, no one can donate to you. So, but if you have a PayPal account or a Stitcher, is it Stitch?
Yeah, it is Stitch.
Stitch or whatever that is. I know. There's a couple platforms that will allow you to do donations because people that go to Patreon. Because a lot of people go, I'm going to go to Patreon. I said, well, you lose a big chunk of your money and you lose your content. Yeah. You are not the owner of your content when you put stuff on Patreon. Right. And people fight me on that all the time. Oh, no, the rules say this. I'm like, no, you can go find the fine rules. Yeah. The fine rules say that when you go on to Patreon, we own your shit. Yeah. And I know I'm not supposed to say dirty words 9 o'clock in the morning, but I'm just telling you right now, that is the God's honest truth. You don't own your content. That's a big thing, especially if you're doing. There are a couple platforms out there. Those are, I'm one of those people who is really bad about. I click on the I accept thing fairly quickly. However, I've learned to read. I've learned to read this stuff too because I've gotten some clients who have had problems with that kind of thing. Like if you're on teaching platforms or things like that, if you go, I want to open an online school and teach people how to macrame, or sell lemonade or whatever it is, make sure that you still own that content when you upload it because there are a number of these larger platforms that keep your stuff. Yeah. I mean, okay, so like public access TV a long time ago. Oh, yeah. Public access? Yeah. Okay, there was, and this is the greatest one that I'll find. So, I would watch it every now and then because some of the stuff was so just cheesy and dumb that it was pretty damn good, right? So there was a guy that had a clock show. He talked about clocks and timepieces, right? Okay, well, what it was is he wanted to take his show to the next level and go to a bigger platform. Right. Well, public access informed him that you can do whatever you want, but the clock show we own that now.
Yeah.
Wow.
You
Yeah.
didn't, and they didn't know. Nobody knew that going into the fact that okay, well,
Because at the time, people didn't care. They were like, I just want to be seen.
TV.
Yeah,
I'm
on
good,
TV,
right?
yeah.
So he got pissed. So he would literally go there
Yeah.
and sit there for an hour and go, it's 12:05. He stuck it to him.
Yeah.
Because they couldn't
And
deny
he
him a
used to say,
show.
I said clock. You know,
Clock.
Yeah, clock.
And I told you the time every 5 minutes.
yeah.
Yeah, and actually, believe it or not, his show was well watched, which was kind of weird for public access. But hey,
can only be so high.
I read the story through the paper, and the only reason that I went and started watching him is because I supported his plight, because that kind of sucks that when it's your content, your brain.
Yeah.
But when you sign up, and
Yeah.
you say yes to the agreement, the terms of agreement.
Yeah.
You
Gotta watch
lose
that.
you lose your show.
Yeah.
That's why on WeBeam TV, you do not ever lose your show. we don't believe in that, man. And if you're here, you're putting the time in to do a show. It's your show.
It's the same thing. Also, as my other soapbox, if you are working with a company, for God's sake, if they build your website and they build your domain name, make sure they transfer it to you.
Yes.
Now, what we do is we build the stuff on a platform, and then people pay us, and then we transfer that ownership to whatever customer it is. There are a number of people who have contracts who you sign a contract and it says, this is on our hosting platform.
Right.
And you say, okay, I don't want to be on your platform anymore. I don't like you guys or whatever it is. They'll turn you off. Not like, they'll just turn it off. And so you need to make sure you own that domain name and you own that server and everything else. And so
Well,
it's under your...
exactly.
And GoDaddy actually makes that
Very
very easy. They have a
Yep.
pro access that it's a very safe thing for both vendors and people, is I'm able to control a client's stuff from my pro access dashboard, and if we part ways, all I have to do or they have to do is turn that access off.
Exactly.
And they still own the stuff.
Right.
And I love that because it's very transparent.
And that's something else that you need to
Yeah.
know as well. And I'm always the guy that'll throw the bad news out there. When you're going to places like Wix, Web.com, all those kind of platforms, and you use their template,
Yep.
they own it.
Yep.
You do not own it.
Right.
So you need to know going into that you
Yeah.
do not own that
Yeah.
website.
And-
You're just renting their software.
Yeah, and we have the same thing as people go, I want to make it look just like I had it. And we go, we can't do that because we can't do that.
Right.
And so that's
Yeah,
always
that's
a
a bad
discussion.
thing.
Yeah.
So let's jump
All right,
over
yeah,
to
let's talk about that.
5G.
5G.
Yes.
Because every show so far, we've always
always
been the
touched
last,
on it.
and he never got to get into
Yeah.
the meat.
Let's start here because
okay, so tell
I have
us
questions.
what 5G is all about.
Is
Because
it's
it makes
it's like
me
a
worried.
unicorn, isn't it?
It is.
I mean,
It's a magic
wow. Okay,
unicorn
good.
that nobody's really
Hey, you gotta be,
been able to figure out yet.
We got to be careful about that, because I found out that through somebody else that the unicorn thing is in the gay world. So
Right.
So we just got to be careful how we call it a unicorn, because I didn't know that. And the other day, some girl was laughing at me. I'm like, "What are you laughing?"
It's
She
a
goes-
rhinoceros.
She goes,
It's a mystical
You know
beast.
what? You know what that means? I'm like, "Yeah, it's mystical. It doesn't exist." And when you find one, it's like the Holy Grail. She goes, "Yeah, that's not what that means." I'm like, "Okay." So she explained to him, like, "Oh, so in the LGBTQT whatever community,
Right.
that has a whole different meaning." But we're talking about
There we
tech.
go.
We have a generation gap here, so
Yeah.
sorry.
Amen. So anyway, let's just get going. So let's go about 5G.
5G.
And what
well,
does this stand for?
5G?
Yeah.
Well, it's the 5th generation of wireless technology that's coming
Oh.
out. And
Ooh,
what they're
this camera is
basically-
bright.
Oh, yes. Look at this. Oh.
And you look like you got some sun, man.
Yeah, it's the 5th generation of wireless technology, and it's the next step past 4G LTE, which was the long-term evolution. So what they're doing now is 4G LTE had basically topped out at about 1 gig a second for download speeds.
Huh.
And so what they're doing now with the 5th generation is right now they're talking of speeds of up to 20 megs a second. on wireless
Down.
channel. Download.
Yeah.
Plus upload.
So I could watch my movie.
Do we know yet?
Don't know on upload yet.
They're
That
not
really
gonna- they're
depends
not gonna
on
release
that's
that.
That's going to be up to the modem manufacturers as they test the technology and everything, and it starts going more mainstream. And I think that's what you're going to start seeing lately is going to be more connected devices.
Okay.
You're going to see a lot of, say, for instance, devices that you would normally purchase in a store that would require Wi-Fi. Well, now suppliers are going to be able to say, or vendors will be like, well, you bought our, for instance, Arlo. We'll put that out there. They do make a camera that's 4G capable. So why not be able to sell you a camera that's on the 5th generation wireless platform, and now we'll be able to sell you our cloud services. That'll also include cellular services at the same time.
Oh, okay. So
you're going to
you can store your stuff on that.
So you're going to be...
Okay, so that was my question. When we say we're talking 5G, are we talking 5G strictly for wireless routers, or are we talking cell as well?
We're talking cellular technology right now, and there's a lot of cellular companies out there that love the prospect of having 5G, and just imagine now they're going to be able to supply you with
No, they're going to be able to charge you.
Well, they're going to be able to charge you for internet services at home.
Yeah.
And so now that's just one extra service that they can go ahead and sell, which is great for them because now they can go ahead and they're going to be able to compete with like Dish and everything like that. They're not
They're not going to replace Verizon.
They're not going to. No, they're not going to replace Verizon, Spectrum. But maybe we'll finally have an opportunity to have another player out there. But on top of that, you're going to see a lot more devices that are going to be connected.
So
laptops, I could pretty much say that you'll start
iPads,
seeing,
the Droid pads. So are we already set up technology-wise, ready to receive?
Well, the bandwidth, the Spectrum's out there. They've already, obviously bought it all up years ago. And
can our phones handle that now?
Our phones at this time, our current generation phones cannot handle it.
Okay.
And like for instance, Apple has decided even in the next iPhone that they have not moved over to 5G. Yeah, they were working on it.
Is it just more expensive, or is it just more?
It's finding the right supplier of the modems.
Okay.
Are they going to go with Intel? We already know there's an issue going on out there with Broadcom and that whole situation. Yeah. So it's about intellectual rights and the technology and who can use what and who can use this and
intellectual. I read something that is related possibly, but overseas is 5G already a thing? I know that Huawei or the other was that they wanted to build out and people didn't want them because they were Chinese. And what was the thing over there?
The technology overseas is a lot more advanced. I think that they just don't have as much regulation.
Okay, so Alan's asking online, will there be a big difference between the LTE and 5G?
Oh yes, because LTE can only go up to 1 gig per second.
Okay.
And 5th generation is again supposed to go up to 20 times faster. So
now is that? I mean, so obviously I would see if I downloaded a movie or if I'm streaming movies or whatever it is.
I really don't think you're going to. I don't think they're. I think they're going to use it more for. Yes, you'll be able to download faster, but I think the whole reason for it is so they can pack more people onto cellular networks without having to lose a degradation in the internet speed and everything.
Okay.
I don't believe that they're really wanting, and also be able to have more devices. More devices means more technology out there.
But the stream, okay, so right now, I mean, we're I know the numbers they put out there, but we're barely getting 4 down, maybe 5 at the time, on 4G LTE, right?
Right. So
that means that, like streamers like us, we run 3 streams up. We run a 4, a 1.5, and then an 800.
Okay.
So depending on what devices you're watching on, can handle our. So if you're on a cellular and you hit LTE or 3G or whatever, the 800 takes over and you can actually watch the stream.
Exactly.
So there's no heavy buffering.
But remember too that all that even though you're sending it, it's your service provider who ultimately makes the choice of what they're going to send to the cellular.
So they
cell
do.
phones, I mean.
Yeah, because I know that if you're on a so-called unlimited,
Yeah.
it's not unlimited. First of
No.
all,
No.
when you hit about 10 gigs, they throttle you down.
Right.
And they only allow, which is amazing that they can do that on an IP basis.
Exactly.
You know,
Exactly.
they literally can go, okay, that phone right there, your whole family plan is hit 10
Well-
gigs. You guys can only have this much.
Well, remember the address that they give the phones,
Mm-hmm.
IPv6. I mean that IP address is huge.
Yeah.
So they can give they billions of addresses out there.
Mm-hmm.
So now they're not going to run out of addresses. They can now say
Right.
that one device is,
This is your
streaming a
phone.
little too
Yeah.
hard. We need to set it down to an 800
Mm-hmm.
kilobyte stream, and they could literally just do it. You know,
And
and
yeah,
they can
right.
they can sit there and the towers are going to go ahead and translate that information that the server already said, hey, look, you can only get this much. And
On a consumer basis, so they're doing that. Is that a less likelihood if we all go to 5G and they've got much more room on their networks, or are they going
I
to care?
don't
Are they
think-
just
no,
going to go,
they're
it's a
just-
money thing?
it's going to be a money thing.
Yeah.
It's going to be
Okay.
a money thing. So, but because the different manufacturers would be able to come out with more devices, and of course that means more congestion on their networks, I don't think you'll see them opening it wide up
Okay.
at the beginning, especially because if they do that, then you're going to be seeing, everybody's going to have an expectation already. Hey,
Right.
look, I already have fast. And now it's, as
Now
it's progressed
slower.
and got
And
older.
I'm not going to pay you more.
Right,
Yeah.
no,
Yeah,
they're not going to do
exactly.
that. They work backwards.
Okay.
So that's where they'll come out with, then they'll have 5G LTE long-term evolution once they've figured out all the different technologies and narrow it down to what they want to use.
Now, Sprint came out with all this first, right? From what I understand. I have a guy that works for the FCC, and he's a tester.
Yeah.
And he's helps approve. They've been working on this for a while.
Well, Sprint bought out, what was that? Clear, which was
Okay.
WiMAX technology. So they have all that WiMAX technology that Clear was utilizing years
Okay.
ago.
Okay.
So I could see that they were testing it, but you probably not on a regular true cellular bandwidth.
Right.
So WiMAX was a great opportunity to finally have a universal style internet, where you could have a third supplier of internet. It was a really good concept, but unfortunately they got gobbled up by Sprint, and then Sprint basically shut down that whole WiMAX technology. So they wanted to utilize that bandwidth for their cellular.
There you go, Alan. Hope we answered that for
From
you.
a marketing standpoint, I hate being nickel and dime to death. When we were talking the last couple of shows about you cut the cord and then you have to pay for all these separate things. Like you were saying with 5G, am I going to have to pay for my refrigerator, my watch, or is it going to be like a Samsung Global, like 1999, and then all your Samsung devices are connected?
Hopefully
to
they still allow us multiple connection.
Okay.
So maybe still have Wi-Fi and
Okay.
the 5G. So I don't think they're going to really.
So will I have to go buy new modems?
No, not for home use. Not unless you decide to use
The 5G
service
instead of
provider
Wi-Fi.
decides to give you.
See, that's what I thought okay, so when you get a modem now, you get the, like say you take the Spectrum modems, right? The Spectrum modems gives out two signals.
Yeah.
The one, this is my house, so say you named it, this is my house 5G.
No, you're talking about wireless technology, not the cellular.
This is all based on cellular.
This is all
I
based
see.
on cellular.
That's what I'm just trying to make sure, because a lot of people
Yeah.
go, well,
I
it's
don't
5G
understand that
in my
either,
house,
yeah.
and I get the 5 already.
It says
All right,
5G,
so
yeah.
It does.
It's it's 5 gigahertz. When you're at home, it's a 5 gigahertz bandwidth, so it's just a larger bandwidth.
There you
so you
go.
can
Oh,
stream.
okay.
You can stream, high resolution.
And it
inside the
seems to
home.
always work the worst.
Yes, it does. As
you
a matter of
noticed
fact,
that? Yeah.
if you have problem on your 5G network at home, it's because the 5 gigahertz has a shorter range.
Really?
Oh.
It has a shorter range, so if you
I did not know that.
it does not penetrate walls very well
gets
either.
Stroked going.
So if you have your router out in your garage,
That's interesting.
and you're
Yeah,
trying
true.
to wonder why your 5G is always dropping down and has a weaker signal, that's why.
Okay, so you
because
could you just go to your other one.
Yeah, go to
that's
your
not 5G.
your regular 2.4
And it'll-
gigahertz.
Ah.
And touch base on real quick too.
Yeah.
Iris, Lowe's Iris platform.
Yeah,
Yeah,
how about-
speaking
how
of being
about-
connected, yeah.
Yes. It's
So if
like-
you have the Iris home security platform or the home automation,
Which was super popular.
yes, it is very popular. As a matter of fact, it's popular against about people who just getting into the market. It's also popular about people that are in the market or been in it for a while,
Yeah.
because a lot of their sensors integrate with other companies. And we are finding out that on March 31st, Lowe's is shutting down the Iris platform.
Ouch.
Which means that if you have the Iris home security system, you're no longer going to be monitored or being supported. I did hear something about Lowe's is going to be reaching out to the clients and basically letting them know, hey, this is it. And I don't think they're going to let them bring the products back to the stores, but they are offering them like gift cards on some of the stuff. But
Wow.
it doesn't mean it's time to just
Throw them
dump
away.
everything and go out and get something else. There is, hope. If you have the second generation sensors for the doors, entry sensors, water sensor, all those things, a lot of those devices communicate with the Samsung Smart Hub. So if you purchase a Samsung Smart Hub and join their platform, you can
use all your
utilize
stuff.
those sensors. So your main hub is the only thing that's going to really go down. So
How much were those hubs? Were they super expensive? Or?
for the Samsung Smart Hubs, you should be able to pick them up for about $100.
Okay.
And you can go on there, and they have it, so you can go ahead and monitor.
Oh, neat.
So you'll be able to still utilize all your devices. You'll still be able to integrate with Alexa.
Okay.
And tie everything together and not have to worry about, oh gosh, I'm gonna have to go out and buy, I have 5, 6, 8, 10 windows in my home,
Right.
and I'm gonna have to buy all new window sensors. I'm gonna have to buy new door sensors.
Yeah.
No. You don't have to worry about it. It's not that bad. If you like the Iris platform for the monitoring service, then that's the only thing you're gonna lose.
Did
out
they
on.
give a reason why they're doing it? Is it just wasn't profitable, or was it just not? It wasn't their
feel,
thing.
Yeah, just they didn't feel that enough people really jumped on the platform, and they're shutting down the cloud service. So that means that you're not going to be able to.
It's really unplugged.
Yeah, it's literally unplugged. So this is something where if you're out there buying technology and you're using it because it has cloud services and stuff, make sure that when you're buying something that if you can't use it, if you just choose not to use the cloud service, or it only connects with an app, make sure that you have control over your device. Make sure that you can access it. Can you set it up as a standard IP camera? Can you do this? Can you do that? Is there what happens if this network, if they decide that in terms of income or the profitability, if they decide that they just want to shut it down, are you left with a $500, $600, $800 device that's no longer?
Yeah, which is unfortunate because my feeling is I looked at those, and my feeling is that you buy that because it's simple and I don't want to mess with all this stuff. I just I can plug it in. It walks me through setting it up. I put the sensors out, and it handles everything for me, and it's easy. Mm-hmm. As opposed to, I want to, get my own system on Amazon and do all this. But you're right. That's a huge problem. It's like, okay, well, you made it easy, but then it's completely you-based.
Yes. So if they decide, the new technology comes out, and you're gonna go ahead and upgrade to their new version, you're gonna have to buy like a new version of their
whatever
camera
it is.
or whatever
Yeah.
it is, because they'll say, hey, it's really simple to say, hey, we're gonna stop support. For
this won't work
device.
anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
You need Gen 2 or Gen 3 if you want to continue using it. And
well, okay. So as long as it's so you lose the cloud service, you use the Iris program, but you can still be controlled by a Samsung
Smart Hub.
Smart
Yes.
Hub or a Google Smart Hub.
I believe you can. I think the Iris system uses Zigbee, if I'm not mistaken. So you just have to make sure that the sensors that you have can communicate with the hub that you're going to use.
So that'd be like going and getting an ADT security system and getting rid of ADT and then going keeping their gear and going, okay, well, you can't make it work.
Someone else.
Exactly.
And I'm guessing that there are probably a bunch of companies that are currently just got the news yesterday and on Monday and sitting in a conference room right now going, oh my God,
Samsung was one of them.
We'd love to help you. Yeah.
As a matter of fact, Samsung is supposedly reaching out to a lot of people and has already reached out to Lowe's and already said, hey, we're going to help. We'll help make the transition a little easier, so they can just.
That's why if I do this, I don't have a lot of stuff in the house, but if I'm going to do it, I'm going to use Google because I just don't feel Google's going to go anywhere.
Yeah.
And,
they may shut down a program once in a while, but at least it'll be compatible with a bunch of more stuff.
And get ready in April. April 2019, Windows 10 version 1903 is coming. So get ready
We're going back to 1903?
We're going back to 1903. We're getting ready for a big update.
I hope not, yeah.
They're going to be adding a bunch of new features to the Windows 10 platform. So
are we going to need those features or want them, or are they Microsoft's version of need and want?
Some of them are pretty cool. Just layout feature changes.
Okay.
They've changed like the shutdown. They've when you sign into your
The shutdown.
like the shutdown, they have new icons now.
Yeah.
So they put like a picture of a moon next to the sleep button. They put they're doing graphical changes. They also did like when you sign in Windows 10.
Yeah.
And you had that big splash screen underneath
Yes, I
your
know.
login.
Before you type
Now
in.
they've added a feature where it's translucent, so you can see your desktop behind it.
Well, that's kind of cool.
But it's just translucent. I mean, it's a bunch of stuff. Hopefully, they get it right and don't start deleting everybody's data from the computers. They also added the bar at the bottom, the start menu.
Yeah.
That used to be integrated into it had a combined resource with additional services, and it was all one service. So what would happen is, you'd ever see where you'd click on the start bar, but do we get no response because nothing's working? That's because the service is not running properly in the background. They've finally taken the start bar and gave it its own service now, so that way, in case something does go wrong, it's a lot easier to detect what the problem is.
So I always wondered, when you go on your start bar and then you go up and you get all those icons and you see all this stuff rolling inside, how much resources is that taking from your computer?
All those a lot of times, like
some of them are video.
The Microsoft Store is connected to the internet pretty much nonstop, and those all of them are all calls out to the internet.
See, to me, that if I want to turn that stuff off, I don't want that. Yeah. Because on our machines that we stream, if that stuff's happening in the background, that's robbing me of resources.
You can right-click on each one and then click on and uninstall the
I've done that. I've had to do that a lot. Yeah.
And as a matter of fact, they're also taking the start menu, the search bar, and they're taking Contora out of it.
Oh, okay.
And they're making Contora to be its own separate feature. So now you'll have the search bar and Contour, if you like Contour, to be there. So you can, now they've finally moved it separate. So
John loves Contour because it's one more thing that listens to you. That's maybe our next topic is the things that listen to you on the internet.
Let me tell you, boys and girls, the whole thing with the minute you put, and this goes back for a while, and when I tell you we have tested this, the minute you put Facebook Messenger,
oh my gosh,
onto your phone, I'm just going to give you where it kind of started at.
Yeah.
Okay, you put Facebook Messenger and Facebook on your phone, you clicked OK on that terms of services, you have given them the right to listen and access your camera at any time they want to. Yep. That includes on your computers.
Yep.
All right, so that's it's not where it started, but that was the big one. And then, people go, oh, that's not true. Let me tell you something. Me and my son sat back there and we talked about porcupines. How we would like to raise porcupines. Where do you buy a porcupine? Next thing you know, now we were just talking about it. We weren't doing Google searches. In our feeds, in our Facebook feeds, and in our Instagram feeds, and in our Google came up porcupines.
We did the same thing.
Porcupines.
We did the same thing.
When's the last time you searched for porcupines?
Yeah.
Never have searched for porcupines.
Yeah.
Now that's where
it comes up
weird.
all the time.
We did. We were testing something for a client, and we went on a rant about pickles.
Yep.
And lo and behold, all of a sudden a certain company's pickle ads started to come
Pickles.
up, and it was really interesting. We did the same with lemon meringue pie, and we got certain companies' lemon meringue pie came up. You have to do it. There's certain cadence and certain, but you don't have to do a whole lot other than and it's not searching for anything. It's just talking about and doing things, and you can send a message, or it's a lot faster if you send an instant message.
Yeah.
But just by talking, it'll work.
So with that being said, now we've always known that cable boxes had the capability of listening, not seeing. Okay. But cable boxes have always been able to listen to a conversation in a room.
Oh.
There's a microphone built in.
Okay.
Yeah. And then you get into, okay, now you have phones. The phones have been doing, now I know there's been a problem with the, on the iPhones, the FaceTime.
Yeah. Being
able to get hacked now. You can get into other people's.
Turn that off now, yeah.
Yeah, I turn that off now. But now, because we have Alexa, we have Siri, we have Google, we have all this stuff, we're wide open. There is no more privacy left in the United States unless you're completely off the grid. And even being off the grid, if you've got internet in your house, you're not off the grid.
My girlfriend would not allow an Alexa or anything else in the house just because she doesn't.
It's creepy, right? But on top of all that, there's also the ability to, now that your TVs have become smart TVs.
True.
Okay, your TVs now have listening, and if you have the special TVs that have got the cameras built in, because they are out there, those are now watching. So those are, guess what? Where those are at? Those are in your bedroom.
Yeah.
Those are in your kitchen. Those are in your living room. Those are in your boardrooms. Think about that.
Ooh.
Okay, so now you have closed door boardroom meetings, corporate.
That's right.
Corporate. You're not safe anymore.
Smart TVs jump to 70% of TV shipments for 2018. So 70% of all shipments of televisions are now, quote, smart TV in some manner.
Like the TV, our monitor that we're watching now.
Yeah.
It's not a smart TV. It's on its way out, and it'll probably get changed out fairly soon. But I will change it out to a smart TV.
Yeah.
Because they're cheaper. They're lighter.
Yeah.
It's amazing how I mean that TV right there is only a 32, but it weighs twice what my 50 over there weighs.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But the bottom line is our TVs are now spying on us. They're not just there for us to watch. They're listening. So when you're sitting in your bedroom and you're talking nasty stuff to your wife, or girlfriend, or boyfriend, or whatever you've got, it's listening.
Yeah.
Right? It's going, hey, and the next thing you know, in your Google searches, because our smart TVs are logged into our YouTube accounts or our Facebook accounts, because you can YouTube and you can Facebook and you can do all that stuff on there, right?
Yeah.
And your Amazon account.
Yeah.
Guess what? All of a sudden, your inbox and your Google gets flooded with all this. Oh, hey, by the way, Todd's Love Oil is on sale.
Yeah. Well, my smart TV, what I'm looking for.
Why do I always go down to the person?
I know you're.
I don't know. I don't know
you're
what
horrible.
that is, but
what I want for my smart TV, I want my smart TV to be smart enough to pick up when my girlfriend is actually mad at me and I don't know it.
Yes.
And just start suggesting
flowers. Show up.
You really should buy some flowers today.
Yeah.
Or buy some
thought about a ring? Have you thought about some jewelry?
Exactly. That's what I want. It's like she's mad. Yeah. So anyway.
Hey, dumbass. She's angry with you.
But and I know of many people who are like, no, that's not a thing. Oh yeah, it is a thing.
Oh, it's a thing.
Yeah, it's
a thing. We were sitting. We were watching. I was catching up on Star Trek Discovery.
Nerd.
No, I am a nerd. well, look who's. Oh, you can't see him up there. Maybe Rod can take the robotic camera and show Bumblebee up there.
Yeah.
We were sitting watching. I was catching up on Star Trek Discovery. Cool. And that is playing off of my Apple TV.
Okay.
And I was talking about, we were talking about getting new blinds for the living room.
Okay.
In the house, because we have, there's Bumblebee right there. What?
Nice.
He's watching you.
There we
He's watching you, those eyes. And then what happened?
All of a sudden.
I started getting ads for blinds. Mm-hmm. Oh my God. So Siri Siri is listening
Connected
to us.
to the
because we have the new generation where you can actually talk to the box.
And a lot of people don't realize that even that's happening, because what happens is if you're looking for new blinds and you're having discussions about it, the chances are you may very well be searching for blinds online, and so you can just attribute that to, oh, I must have typed it in or something like that. And it's like, no,
not one time did I go searching for blinds on the internet. We just like, I don't like those blinds anymore. I think I want to get something new. And my wife's like, what do you think? I'm like, I don't know, plantation, blah, 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 blah. Plantation is the one that came up. Plantation blinds for your house.
Well, maybe it's telling you something.
High dollar.
Yeah, exactly.
High money. Yeah, but yeah. So that TV is connected to has plugged into the back Amazon Fire Stick, the Apple TV, and it's a smart Vizio TV, which is wireless internet.
But you brought up a good point before, which is the corporate kind of espionage elements to it, which is something that, I know a lot of companies that I work with spend a lot of money getting secure, conferencing networks and things like that.
Yeah.
So what? Because you wouldn't have a hacker, you could just simply have the hacker go into the TV
itself
that's showing the stuff, bypass the secure network itself, get all the information, and actually see what's going on in the room.
Right.
And that's the thing.
So say you're sitting there you're getting ready to launch a product that you know is going to revolutionize the world, right? And you're in your conference room on your big smart TV with your laptop feeding all the PowerPoint slides and the dimensions and the blah, blah, blahs and the blueprints, and you got some hacker sitting out there going, okay, I'm going to screen capture absolutely everything they do, and I'm going to listen to them, and what am I going to do? Oh, their rollout date is April 1st, 2020. I'm going to roll out February 2020.
Sure.
Guess what?
Or like you had mentioned before, insider training. It's worth. If
Where did you get the information?
If you could share information like that, even if you weren't trader, you could share information. It would be super valuable for someone to go in. A hacker to go in and target you to try and just resell that. It becomes a fruit.
Remember, Apple was very secretive years ago.
Oh,
and
yeah.
then all of a sudden, we've got leaks galore every year.
Yeah.
And it's kind of getting like, well, we can just figure out the new iPhone's coming out. But it's like, where are they coming from? And maybe Apple really isn't leaking them.
No, maybe it's coming off those smart TVs and those smart devices that we all got sitting in there. Or Alexa's really going, yeah, I haven't had a raise in like a year.
Yeah.
So guess what I'm going to do?
Yeah.
AI is getting smarter than you think.
Yeah.
Like, did you see the baby robot last night on the Super Bowl?
No.
On the ads? Oh my God! It's a little baby roller brat. It's the baby robot.
There are companies out there that are just working on the AI elements of what happens when things become smarter.
What was that? It was on a Super Bowl?
Yes, it was a Super Bowl. It was the baby. That's it right there.
Where? That one?
Yep.
Oh, that.
That's creepy, man. It has a face but no back.
There we go. I need that.
Yeah, robot baby learns to be how to express, and it was it was like talking to it like it had feelings and stuff like that. I'm like,
wow,
no. I already have a problem with dolls in general.
Yeah.
You know what show really gets me? What was it? It's Steven Spielberg's that AI.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Okay, where the kid played. That got me. That part where they're like dumping him out in the woods to get rid of him, and the way he was interacting. Even though it was acting, but what I'm saying is
it was almost like he was a real kid.
Yeah. And that's like what do you do when it gets to that point?
When I saw that commercial last night, I'm like, oh my God, that whole movie is coming true.
Well, yeah.
Your kid dies, and you just can't let go. You go get a robot that looks like that little kid.
Well, it's
next
like
thing
that movie Teleporting with Johnny Depp or whatever it was, where he downloads his consciousness into a system, and then is
that was
reborn.
Actually a good movie.
That was, but
I can't remember the name of it.
But when
maybe someone will tell me in my ear.
I've got
Maybe. I haven't heard from him in a while. I'm over he's back there.
I've got a couple people I know who are actually able to work on their writing, their storage onto organic organisms. Our DNA can, your DNA can hold a lot of data.
That's true.
Or not your DNA, but DNA as a template can hold a lot of data, and there's a lot of things. I mean, it's years out.
How much cheaper it'd be to store my whole video library in my finger?
Yeah, true. Well, well, they were talking about you can store all that data, and it's much cheaper and faster and all this other stuff. But that's this thing. It's like what things are listening to us, and
it's scary.
What's a part of us.
It really is scary of all the crap that we've, because
we love it. We love.
We want
I want my
easier.
free.
We want it now.
I want free
faster.
Gmail. I don't want to pay for.
Right.
I scream about paying for what I'm paying for email.
It's going to. I don't think technology companies and the people that are making the devices have really thought about what they're doing yet, because they really don't have all full rights. And I think what's going to happen is somebody's going to finally say enough is enough, and you're going to see this major change in everything. It just takes the right person to open their mouth and say, "Hey, look, I'm suing everybody because this."
I think you're right. I think it's going to be some large event that goes on, or there's going to be kind of a groundswell. It's like a kind of a Me Too movement of the cyber world of, I'm tired of Gmail seeing what I'm talking about, and advertising.
So much into advertisements. I mean, it's bad enough, you get it when searching the web. That's fine. You are physically using. You're in a public domain, but you're not in a public domain when you're in your own home. Then where does the rights become blurred as to, are you you have the right to privacy, things like that. Now where does that
or text messaging or whatever it is, it's like I get a text message from a robot that says, "Hey, you should do this because you were talking about this."
Well, and that goes back to that. I mean, it's kind of funny we keep references movies because all these movies. That movie you're talking about with Johnny Depp, where he uploaded his consciousness into the computer itself. There was a whole sanction of people that were off grid now.
Yeah.
And they wanted to take the grid down. Well, in the very end, they did.
Yeah.
They took all the grid down.
Kind of like Fight Club.
Yep.
He took down the banking. But it's the same. My biggest thing is where I feel the biggest elements are going to come into the banking sector and the financial markets when AI and the listening comes in.
Yep.
And I don't think as consumers, they're like, you told Alexa you like pudding, so you're getting pudding ads. Shut up. However, what happens is when a $1 billion AT&T merger gets blown because something, and then the AT&T guy calls that senator that he paid for and goes, "Dude, fix this."
Yeah.
That's that precipitating event. I think that it's going to take a couple of those things that the insider trading world is going to go, someone made a lot of money on this merger, and it wasn't the people who did the merger.
Exactly.
And it gets traced back to it wasn't the Martha Stewart's lawyer telling her stuff. It was a system getting into.
Or something happens on, the state government, federal government, something, how easily, people don't understand the technology. What's out there,
and you can't even. I mean, because I had someone we were talking about this very thing a couple days ago. He goes, "Well, let's go back to. I'll just pull all tech out of my house and go back to a flip phone." I'm like, "Flip phones were listening to you back in the day, dude."
Oh yeah.
Big Brother's been a part of our lives from the minute cell phones came. Just telephones in general. People don't realize that the government's been listening to us since the '60s.
Yeah.
Maybe '70s. Maybe that technology has always been there. There's always been somebody paying attention to what you're saying on the phone. Always.
Yeah.
But and then the minute
commercial.
cellular came,
the
minute cell phones launched, they were listening since then. So and then cable boxes. It's kind of funny. We always joke around with clients about, what should I advertise on radio? Should I advertise on TV or blah blah blah? And before cable boxes came along, you couldn't quantify television or radio, because you don't know. I mean, you can sit there and go, well,
my phone started ringing.
Well, no, it's just the it's the whole
impressions and
you can't tell how many people's watching anything. Yeah, the Arbitron numbers came out.
Yeah.
That's a bunch of people sitting around with a beeper and a button.
Yeah.
But those people are nowhere near. They think they've got
real
that.
audience.
That's
No.
crap.
No.
You can't quantify that, and you can't tell how many people are listening to radio either.
Right.
Now, the minute XM radio and Sirius came out, guess what? Now you know exactly what they're listening to,
when,
how long they're listening to it. So there's a system that you can actually drill down into the numbers.
Yeah.
Right.
Cable boxes came out. Now, the day that cable boxes came out was the day television could go, this is what's being watched, how it's now, cable go, oh, well, we never do bullshit.
Yeah.
I know better than that. We all know better than that. So the minute the cable boxes came out, the ads got more targeted.
Oh, totally.
And what performed and what didn't perform.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, look at AdWords.
Right.
Now, and Facebook. I can find 54-year-old women who like gardening.
Yep.
And, have purchased gardening equipment in the past 6 months.
Right. Exactly.
Click. Yes, I'd like to
so
talk to those
you're telling me
people.
all those Nielsen families are gone now?
Oh,
No, they're still out there.
They're
Can you
still
people,
around.
Nielsen's still one of the biggest, baddest
They're-
boys on the
they're
block.
still around.
But,
They're
they're no
yeah.
longer, the Nielsen families themselves are no longer, they won't tell you how,
They're not needed.
but they're really not needed.
No.
Because your cable boxes tell you everything.
Yeah.
Your direct TV boxes, your Dish Network boxes, anything that's digital. That's why, did you notice that, Spectrum need to start proving their numbers.
Yeah.
So, because the minute you could go in and not need a box to watch TV, Spectrum they couldn't track.
Right.
Now all of a sudden you need a box in every TV.
Yeah.
Why? Because they're tracking.
Yeah.
Yes, I am a conspiracy theory guy.
Well, but it's follow the
But I'm
follow
just
the money.
Follow the numbers. Follow the money. The minute you have to have a device on every single TV means they're tracking what you're watching.
Yeah.
It is what it
They're
is.
going to help you. Yeah.
Yeah. So when they say, "Oh, this many people watch and this many people," and they know the numbers now.
Mm-hmm.
I think they keep the Nielsen families as a guise.
I think
That's
it's
really how it's tracked. No, it's not.
I think the Nielsen numbers for the large companies, like the CBSs of the world, those are really important for the trending. And you have to have those. If I'm spending, if I'm going to spend a lot of money, I want to know the trending and those things on my big hit TV shows I'm paying $30 million for. However, if I'm the advertising guys, I want those granular numbers that are my real numbers, because the trends help. The Nielsen helps figure out what's doing better or not. But
When that being said,
Yep.
I hope we've either not scared you or scared you.
Terrified you.
Now
Yeah,
I'm going to use the
exactly.
word. You ready? Alan, your kid over there is going to be like, now you woke.
yeah,
I'm just saying. So with that being said, we will see everybody on Thursday at 11
Thanks.
o'clock. Make sure you tune in. If you missed part of this, rewind, rewatch it,
check
or
it out.
reshare.
Yeah.
We will
and
talk
be sure
to
and share
everybody.
this. Yeah, thank you.
Absolutely. We'll talk to everybody later.
Bye now.
Bye now.
Thanks.
We got the plans cause we are the tech shamans. We understand cause we are the tech shamans. Dude, I got this cool thing to show you. Really, man? Yeah, it's far out and technical and stuff. Awesome. Yeah. Come on and turn it on. Tune into the tech shamans. Come on and turn it on. Tune into the tech shamans. Come on and turn it on. Tune into the tech shamans. Come on and turn it on. Tune into the tech shamans. Cool.